thinking they playing with me. Look into my eyes, do it look like you playing me? Is it safe to be thinking that you could ever get over on me? I'm a rebel to this game, so ain't no rules to be binding me. Y'all a felon in this industry. Y'all misdemeanors tell me smart, I'm new.
Yo, what's up, everybody? This is your man, Next Icon, and this is the ICON Chronicles. It is Wednesday, October 5th. This is going to be the last Wednesday that I'm going to be broadcasting the ICON Chronicles. I will be going back to Mondays. Hopefully next week, I'll keep you all informed on what the deal is. Before I get started, you know what the deal is. I got to put the business out there. So, I'm going to put this out here. Earlier today, there was an incident. There was a domestic incident. And I did something that I shouldn't have done. And I put my hands on somebody that I shouldn't have put my hands on. Now, those of you that know me know I don't like to give out names. I don't like to say names because, you know, like the old TV shows, names are changed when I mentioned to protect the innocent. But I did something that I wasn't supposed to. And I'm saying this at the beginning of this show. To say that there's never a reason to put your hands on another person, regardless. And because I overstepped my bounds, I apologize for what I did. And I've made the necessary considerations that it will not happen again. Now, that I've said that. Next Icon. Again, this is the episode of negativity that I have to overcome and that I will, because again, no excuses. I can overcome negativity is the name and it is the brand, and I have to stand by what it is that I choose to go by. I would like to remind everybody that you can follow the ICON Chronicles on Facebook. Under the ICON Chronicles page, you can follow it under Next Icon Davis. You can follow it on Facebook, the Instagram under Next Icon Davis. You can follow it on YouTube under the ICON Chronicles, and you can leave your comments on either one of those forums: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. You can hit me up on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram under Next Icon or the actor Willie D. You can follow me on Facebook under Next Icon Davis or Will D for the actor. Y'all know what the deal is. So I do have some projects that are coming up pretty soon. I am still a part of the Moshe project, and we will be back filming pretty soon. I'm also in a project by Grace the Stallion called Love in Atlanta, which is now being transformed from a stage play to a movie. So we're going to be looking to start getting that filmed pretty soon as well. And I'm also a part of the 8th season of Atlanta's Ugly, which is entitled Atlanta's Ugly 2.0. Check it out. You can check all of this out on YouTube. Oh, some more news. Within the next 2 weeks, you can find me on Tubi with my show, Jared. This is described as the Black Seinfeld comedy show. You're going to want to check it out. If you don't want to wait to check it out on Tubi in the next 2 weeks, you can check it out on Amazon Prime. Just type in Jared's in the search, and it will come up. It'll be a black background with says Jared's in red. Check it out. You can also check me out in Geek Monsters, and you can catch me in. There's another show that's going to be coming out pretty soon called White Niggas. You can check that out as well. Your man's putting in the work. Also, take some time to go to my page, look up ATL's Hottest, and you can vote for your man, Next Icon Davis, as ATL's hottest actor. I won it last year. I'm looking to do it this year, but hey, if I don't, much love to everybody that did win and that does win. I'm just appreciative for being nominated every year that the ATL's Hottest Awards come around. But a second year in the row would be dope. Also, keep in mind that I have 2 singles that I've released at the end of August. Or was it September? End of August. And they're all distributed by DistroKid. But you can also find them on YouTube as well. The song is called Can't Call It and 2 Seconds, or not 2 seconds. Can't call it in seconds. Check them out, download them, tell your friends about them, and support the independent artists. I'm going to be working on a new single for the month of October. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet. I got to go through my list. The goal was to release one single every month. So I'm up to 10 singles, 8 singles. I got 4 more to go. And I got a few more months to get that done. So look for me to release a new single every month until the end of the year. And I may release another album. I do owe my label one more album. It's currently titled Thug Love. It's still in the process. I haven't figured out exactly what I'm going to do with it, but I still owe my label because I am a signed artist to my own label. I do owe my label one more album before that contract is complete, so that may be coming out sometime next year. So keep an eye out for that. In the meantime, you can check out my last album outside of the singles that I've done. You can check out my last album, The Declaration of Me, on ANX Records through Kuntar Music Media LLC. Handle your business. Support your boy. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Support goes a long way. Support us like you support the big boys, because at one time the big boys is exactly where we are. Keep that in mind. Support your independent artists, your independent authors, your independent actors, your independent filmmakers. Yo, we out here doing this for y'all, because we all got to grind. Anyway, so since I really didn't have a topic for today, I call this open forum. And when I do open forums, it means that whatever it is that I feel like talking about, I can talk about. It's kind of dope when you can do that. When you have your own show, you can say what you want to say. But I'm going to say some things that may offend some people, that some people may not like, some people may not agree with. This is in the realm of relationships, because relationships these days are not taken seriously. They're taken as an activity, something to do for the moment. And then when you get bored, you go do something else. You find something else to do. You find something else to get interested in, like it's a hobby. This is not what a relationship is. A relationship is a commitment of sorts. It's not a marital commitment. That is a whole different thing on a whole different level. And even then, some people still don't understand the whole concept and the whole aspect of a marriage, much less a relationship. So we take our time to do everything else, and we focus our attentions on everything else except what they should be focused on, and that is being with that man or being with that woman that you say that you want to be with, that you choose to invest your time and your energy in. Now, it's a good thing to say that you want to be in a relationship. It's a beautiful thing to want to be in a relationship. But if you don't have the time to be in a relationship, then you are not only wasting your time, you're also wasting the other person's time. But again, relationships these days are not taken seriously. Just like marriages aren't taken seriously. These two things are being taken as just something to do for the moment. There's no sense of commitment. There's no sense of dedication. There's no sense of camaraderie. There's no chemistry. There's just two people getting together saying that they're in a relationship that really does not, in effect, exist. That is wrong on so many levels and in so many ways. Relationships and marriages require work. They require effort. They require time. They require a plan. There used to be a time when parents would ask the young man when he shows up to pick up their daughter, "What are your intentions for my daughter?" And we had to answer that question. That question is no longer being asked. Why? Because parents do not really give a care about what goes on with their kids anymore. Parents are too busy trying to be friends with their kids and trying to be friends with their boyfriends or with their girlfriends, but not taking the time to understand exactly where this is going, what this is going to be, what it's going to turn into. Women are not being taught to be women anymore. They're taught to just go for the first thing that says that they look good. First man that smiles at them. The first man that says that they look fine. And men are preying on women like that instead of looking for the longevity of a relationship or a marriage. Relationship is a step before marriage because the whole design is to see if this is the person that you want to spend your life with. But in order to determine if this is the person that you want to spend your life with, you have to spend time with that person. You have to learn that person just as they have to learn you. See, this is Jane Doe one-on-one. This is John Doe one-on-one. But if John and Jane Doe don't take the time to get to know each other, whatever it is that they're trying to build is going to collapse before it has a chance to raise up. The whole point of relationships and marriages is to lay a foundation for a possible future. Well, marriage is to lay the foundation for a future. Relationship is to begin to lay the foundation for a possible future. But that possible future will not be possible if there's no energy invested in it. There's no possibility of it growing if there's no time invested into it. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes presence, it takes communication, it takes understanding one another on every possible level. Now, everybody is so busy focused on the sexual aspect of a relationship. They're so busy focused on the sexual aspect of a marriage, not understanding that both of them require more. Are you spiritually compatible with that person? Are you emotionally compatible with that person? Are you psychologically compatible with that person? It's more than just sex. Are you mentally on the same track as that person? See, when I was growing up, and I'm pretty sure that I'm not the only person that's going through this, being a Scorpio, Scorpios have this illusion of being highly sexual creatures. And in a way, that's a good thing, but in a way, it's not. Because in my perspective, it's more than just the physical aspect of sex for a fully mature Scorpio. Why do I say that? Because there are levels. And a lot of people don't take the time to understand those levels. Just like I said, there's mental, there's emotional, there's psychological, there's spiritual. And if none of these are examined in the course of getting to know each other, of getting to learn each other, and to getting to know each other, whatever it is that you're trying to build is going to fall. So you have all of the bricks to build with, but the cement that you're trying to use to fortify that wall that you're building, there's something wrong with that cement. There's too much water in it. There's either too much water or there's too much cement. It's not going to hold. And the slightest tap on that wall is going to make that wall break and collapse. Again, why? Because nobody is looking for longevity in a relationship. Nobody's looking for longevity in a marriage. People are doing this just for the moment, for the feel-good feeling of being in a relationship, for the feel-good feeling of having a husband or a wife. That's it. Or for the money, the financial aspect of being in a marriage or being in a relationship. There's no feeling involved. And this is what destroys the common relationship, especially in the season that we're in now. Now, this is one of the things that's probably going to piss people off. Because, and again, this is my opinion, this is my belief. And I said this earlier. When you're in a relationship with someone, Anything that you do for that person in that relationship is a I forgot my term, my frame of thought. It is a courtesy. It is not an obligation. Just because you have a boyfriend doesn't mean that you're obligated to take care of him. Just because you have a girlfriend doesn't make you obligated to take care of them. Now, the first thing that people do, and the first thing that people say, well, the Bible says, read your Bible. Moses did not have a girlfriend. Well, he did have a girlfriend. John, Matthew, Mark, Luke, Joseph. They didn't have girlfriends. They had wives. And you can read the Bible, you can read the Quran, you can read the Torah, you can read whatever religious book that you want to read, and there is nothing in either of these publications that says to take care of your boyfriend or to take care of your girlfriend. That is not an obligation. The obligation is as a husband to take care of his wife, and for a wife to take care of her husband. That's the obligation. That's the covenant that you made with whatever God that it is that you serve, whatever God that you believe in. That's the covenant that you made. The relationship is the precursor to establishing that commitment and that covenant with whatever God that it is that you serve. And until you make that covenant, you're not obligated to anybody for anything. Men have this thing of she got to do this and she got to do that and she got to have this and she got to have that. Women is the same way. Man got to have this and man got to have that. But most of these folks that are saying that, they don't have the same thing. See, if you cannot keep up with somebody, if you can't match what somebody else is doing, then you need to find somebody that you can match or that matches you. See, I have a philosophy of two types of existences. There is an us, we, ours existence, and there's an I, me, mine existence. And in this day and time and in this season, the majority of these people that are out here are living an I, me, mine existence. But they're living this existence with the expectation of an us, we, ours relationship. And you cannot be both. Because in an I, me, mine relationship or existence, it's all about you. What I can do for me, for mine, to make it mine, is singular. Us, we, ours says it in itself. It's plural. We're doing for us so that we can have our future. And you can't do us, and you can't do we, and you can't do ours being one person. You can do I, me, mine all day long. But you cannot be I, me, mine in an us, we, ours situation, and you can't be us, we, ours in an I, me, mine state. If you're in an us, we, ours situation, that means both people are on one accord to achieve the same goal. The people that forcefully engage with people that are in us, we, ours mind states are contaminating that existence because they're trying to manipulate that person for their own self-gratification and their own benefit, for their own existence, because it's all about them. This is why there's so many relationships that are ending in divorce. This is why there are so many problems in relationships, because nobody is being taught how a relationship and how a marriage is supposed to work. See, us, we, ours relationship, that means that you're partners. It means that you're a team. That means that you have each other's back. I, me, mine says it by itself. You're by yourself, on your lonely, trying to figure things out by yourself. And some people are cool with that, but don't try to bring that into an us, we, ours situation. It is not going to work. It's going to be catastrophic. It's going to blow up in your face. Relationships and marriages are determined for the long haul. That means that you have got together and you have taken the time to learn each other. Like I said, Jane Doe 101, John Doe 101. That means that y'all both in class. You in each other's classroom, you in each other's school, and you're learning what you can about this person that you say that you want to be with. How do you know that you want to be with them if you haven't taken the time to know them? Now again, y'all want to go to the Bible? The Bible says that you have to be equally yoked. But most of y'all ain't even paying attention to that part. You refer to the Bible when it's to justify your position in something that you can't get yourself out of. That's not what the Bible is for. That's not what the justification is for. If you read your Bible, if you read your Quran, if you read your Torah, if you truly understood what it says in there and the stories that are behind it and the people that are speaking in it, you would not be using it to try to justify your self-entitlement and your self-gratifying nature. See, nobody out here owes you a damn thing. You owe yourself. Why? Because this life was given to you to make something out of. You were given this life to make something out of it. Whether it's good or whether it's bad, because I'm not here to judge. Whether you live a hard life, whether you live a thug life, whether you live a criminal life, whether you live a righteous life, whether you live a married life, life was given to you to make something of it. But once you take on a partner, the I, me, my mindset has to take a back seat. It's got to pack. It's got to move someplace else, because at that point, it's no longer about you. It's about you and I say this very clearly, it's about you and. Why? Because there's niggas out here that get with women that have kids, and they all about the woman. Because it's not their kid. Their kid got a baby daddy. When you get with that woman that has a child or children, you are the man in those children's life, and you choose to accept the responsibility of those kids, whether they have a father figure or not. Because the father that's in your life may not be the right father figure, and you might be. It doesn't matter whether they're yours or not. And most of y'all ain't even taking care of the kids that you do have. But you quick to go and take care of somebody else's children. You want everybody else's kid to call you daddy, but your own kids can't call you daddy because your own kids don't know who you are. And y'all women have to quit accepting these men that are only with you for you. I'm going to say that again. You women have to quit allowing and accepting men that are just there for you. It does not matter if they have a baby daddy. It don't matter if the baby daddy is active in their life or not active in their life. I had a man that told me that the reason that he didn't come and see his son was because I was there. That's BS. Because I have a son. And I'd be damned if my ex-wife would be with some dude and try to tell me that I couldn't come and see my son. That would be the quickest flight, the quickest bus trip. I might even run faster than the Flash to see if that's true. Now, there are men out here that's damn good ass men that take care of their kids, that handle their responsibilities. They take their last dime, they take their last dollar, they take their last nickel, they take their last penny to provide for their kids. You have men out here that are damn good men that will accept your kids. But y'all would rather run behind the dope man, run behind the jailbird, run behind the man that the best thing that he done did all day is play video games. You working all day, you busting your ass on your job all day, and the only thing that he got to tell you, guess who won the case on divorce court today? That's his accomplishment for the day. But you got women that are the exact same way. See, everybody wants to hustle, but they don't even got the work of a hustler. They don't understand the hustler's creed. They ain't got a hustler's blood in them. They ain't got that kind of mentality. They just like saying the word because it sounds good. Because they heard somebody else say that they a hustler. So now, because they going through some bullshit and they're making it through, that they a hustler. That don't make you no hustler. People like to use the word survivor. Survivors is still out there on the block, surviving. If somebody is looking out for you, if somebody has opened up their door for you, if somebody is establishing that you have an address that you can use, that you can go lay your head on, you ain't surviving. If you're surviving, your ass will still be out there on the block, sleeping up under a bridge, sleeping in tent village, out here asking people for nickels and dimes, that you got some change, can you spare $1? That's a survivor. Hustlers don't survive. Survivors can't hustle. Let's be clear on that. It's two different worlds, two different definitions. Hustlers hustle to get what they got to get. They take advantage of people. They use people. They manipulate people. They coerce people. That's what a hustler does. Y'all niggas out here don't understand the concept of a hustler. You don't understand the mind and mentality of a hustler. A survivor does what they can. Because they can't do much. Because they ain't got much. Two different worlds, two different mentalities, two different meanings. But that also requires a commitment. You either committed to be a hustler or you committed to be a survivor. Now, again, all of these are my opinions, but I can say this because I lived the life of a hustler. I lived the life of a survivor. But at some point in your life, you got to grow up. You got to find a new hustle. You got to quit surviving and start living. That's a whole different concept too. Because when you go from being a survivor to living, that means that whole lifestyle is gone because you done came up. You done took the steps to raise yourself out of the survivor mentality to a living mentality. And you're doing everything in your power and ability to not go back to being a survivor. Because the general end for a survivor is not jail. The ultimate end for a survivor is death. Because they get to the point where there's nothing else to survive for. There's nothing else to live for. And the best way to get out of being a survivor is to stop surviving and die. Hustlers, whole different breed, whole different creed, whole different belief, whole different mentality. Because there ain't no such thing as dying and being a hustler. Because the whole goal of being a hustler is to live by any means necessary. Means if you got to beg, borrow, steal, that's what you finna do. If you got to hustle somebody, you got to hustle somebody. If you got to manipulate somebody, you got to manipulate somebody. If you got to coerce somebody, you got to coerce somebody. If you got to threaten somebody, you got to threaten somebody because you're a hustler. You hustle for your existence. You hustle for your money. You hustle for your life. You hustle for that place that you want. You don't quit. There's no survivor mentality in a hustler. Because a survivor in life, that's beneath the hustler. Because the hustler is trying to rise up to live. You see, y'all don't understand that. Because y'all let these little knucklehead, nickel and dime, wannabe four-corner hustlers try to convince you otherwise. And these niggas don't know jack. They telling you what they want to tell you, and you dumb enough to follow them, and you dumb enough to believe what they saying because it sounds good. Now, I had 3 niggas in my life that have multiple children. One of them even passed on. The nigga had 9 kids. He made sure that he took care of every last one of them kids until the day that he died. My other homeboy, he got 9 kids. 2 from one, 7 from another one. He made sure that all 9 of them kids are took care of. I got another one. The number of kids that he has, speculatory. His past, not for me to mention. But he handled his business. He makes sure that no matter what it takes, that his kids are took care of. See, that's a hustler. My niggas from the day, them are hustlers. They're not surviving. They hustling to make sure that what needs to be taken care of is taken care of. And that isn't us, we are mentality. Because they're not thinking about themselves. Not 100%. They think about them and me and my kids. Me and my responsibilities. That's an us, we, ours mentality that a lot of y'all women, y'all not paying attention to. See, y'all not paying attention to the nigga that gets up and goes to work every day. You're not looking at the nigga that makes sure that his lights don't get turned off, that his gas don't get turned off. You ain't looking at the nigga that gets up and goes to work that ain't got no car but catches the bus and is never late to work. Niggas like that hold no value. But the dope man out here got to get you shot at, got you coming down to the county jail, putting money on his books, and as soon as you walk out or put money on his books, it's another one right behind you. As you walking out the door, they walking in to put money on his books. And when she leaves, there's another woman coming in to put money on his books. That's who y'all cater to? That's who you in love with? That's who your baby daddy is? That's what you trying to build a future with? But niggas that handle their business, they're not appealing. They geeky. They nerdy. They lame. Until you got 5 or 6 kids with 4 or 5 baby daddies, and ain't none of them baby daddies take care of none of their kids. Then that responsible nigga is cute. Now he fine. But now you so stuck in an I, me, mine mentality that you don't know how to be us, we, ours. You ain't taking the time. So you took all the time in the world to get to know that street nigga. But you ain't take a moment of your time to learn the responsible nigga. Because that was just a drop in the pan. That's just a flash in the pan. That's just another mark just to get you by. And the next time that the next dope man comes by, you're going to bail on the responsible nigga for the hood nigga that has no future, that has no sense of direction, that don't know what he going to do in the next 5 minutes, much less the next 5 years. But this is who you idolize. This is who you want to build with. This is the foundation that's already flawed from day one. This is what you want to flock to. When are y'all going to learn that a real man is there right in front of your face? The one that you piss on, the one that you shit on, The one that you only come around when you want something or when you need something. That nigga right there. And that same nigga is like never, nah, I got you. What you need? But y'all dump on that nigga. But then what happens is, eventually, and I made this a post. Givers that keep giving get tired of takers that keep taking. Givers that keep giving get tired of takers that keep taking. Why? Because we done figured it out. And it was cool for a little while. It was all right. But the expectation in our minds was that this is going somewhere. We're going to be able to build a future. We can lay the foundation and we can build on that, and we can live a life of abundance, of fantastic vacations and extraordinary memories, only to find out that the whole thing is a sham. The whole thing is a game. So you was just there to get what you could get. And then when you got found out that that's what you was up to, now it's the problem. Now it's an issue because you burned your bridges. And even though that responsible nigga will keep letting you rebuild that bridge and rebuild that bridge and rebuild that bridge as you keep burning it, like you don't even get the bridge all the way built before you're throwing another match on it. You get halfway across the bridge that you built and you go back to the start of that bridge and you throw some gasoline and a match on it and it's already burning before you even finish it to the other side. And then when that bridge is burned, now you in your feelings. Now you have a problem. Now the whole world is against you. Now don't nobody love you. Now don't nobody care about you. No. You don't care about yourself. You don't love yourself. You have no self-respect in yourself. You have no self-dignity in yourself. And because everybody is starting to figure it out, we're not the problem. We just understood the rules of the game and we played accordingly. What y'all forgot is that in this game, everybody gets a turn. And what you also fail to realize is that everybody gets a turn. Nobody plays by the same rules that you play because everybody got their own set of rules. If they rules, I can 100% guarantee are not going to match your rules. Just like your rules is 100% not going to match theirs, except unless you are us, we ours, and you're on the same page with the same goal, going in the same direction, with the same idea, with the same mind state, working together as one. And when you live in that life, and you hold on to that life, and you submit that life, there's nobody that can break that up. They're not, don't get me wrong. They're going to try. Because outside people hate to see you happy and hate to see you grow and hate to see you prosper with somebody else. I can give you a case in point. The current place where I live now, there's a little spy, well, wannabe spy, little fucked up ass wannabe James Bond that apparently found fascination in watching me come and go. So 2 o'clock in the morning, I have to make a run somewhere. And my counterpart gets a text message. You home? No. Why? I just saw your man leaving at 2 o'clock in the morning with some woman in a headscarf. So I get a message. Who am I with? Who was the woman at 2 o'clock in the morning? The funny part of the story was the woman in the headscarf was my cousin wearing a hoodie. My cousin is thin as a motherfucker. Damn near 6 foot tall. And had on a damn hoodie. And this little spy couldn't tell the difference of a flat-chested ass, grown-ass man in a hoodie from a woman in a headscarf. Why? Because somewhere along the lines, whether something was said, whether it was implied, whether it was hinted at, put me in this person's radar. Because they see what's going on. They can't see inside, but they see what's going on the outside. And they're looking at their current existence and the current man that they're dealing with, and they see what people don't understand is women and men compare notes. Your man ain't no good. But this one over here that you in your mind look better than, the person that you're looking at that's supposed to be your friend, that you would put it in your mind that you better than and that you deserve what she got, what you gonna do? You're gonna plot. You're gonna plan. You're gonna scheme. I'm gonna break it up. What's the best way that I can break this up? Oh, wait a minute. Who is that he leaving in the car with? That look like a woman. Let me make a phone call. Now we finna flip that to, everybody like to say that the devil had something to do with it. The devil out here working his magic. No, the devil ain't got nothing to do with this. This is your spiteful, jealous, scheming ass thinking that you're up to something. Problem with that is, see, y'all don't come to me with that nonsense. See, when you living in an us, we, ours relationship, when you have an us, we, ours existence, nobody can come to you and say anything about who you with. Why? Because you done graduated Jane Doe 101. You done graduated John Doe 101. Magna cum laude, highest honors. So can't nobody be able to come to you and say anything. Why? Because you know who you with. Because you learned who you was with. You got to know who you was with. You got to see that you got to see their character. You got to see their mannerisms. You got to see their behavior. You got to see what they like emotionally, spiritually, mentally, psychologically. You got to see all of that because you put the time in. So can't nobody come to you and say nothing. Because what's the first thing that you're going to do? Hey, somebody said such and such about you. I just want to ask. No, don't get me wrong on this one. There are some niggas out here that's good at that. That's good at bullshitting you around and tell you that it ain't nobody when it really is. But y'all don't take into account that there are good men and good women that are out here that ain't doing that shit. That don't care. See, can't nobody come to me and say anything about anybody that I'm with. Because I learned a long time ago that he say, she say brings nothing but trouble, drama, and chaos. Especially when the he say, she say is bogus. It's not fact. It's a fantasy. It's a tall tale. It's a lie. But people will do that to disrupt what you have because they think that they deserve the life that you have. They want your lifestyle. And they will do what they can in order to disrupt that. And there are those of you that are in us, we are relationships that are not strong enough to withstand that, and you take the bait. Now you got an attitude. Now you mad. Now you huffing and puffing like the big bad wolf about to try to blow down a brick house that you can't blow down because there was nothing there in the first place to blow down. A lot of y'all follow social media. Social media invades your life. Social media is the biggest contributor to the breakup of supposed to be stable relationships. Why? Because it's so easy to start a rumor about somebody on Facebook and the whole world will follow that rumor. And they will add on to that rumor. You was at the grocery store. Somebody saw you at the grocery store on Facebook. Now, you were seen at the grocery store on Facebook and you was talking to some man. Then you was on Facebook and you was seen at the grocery store talking to some man and y'all was holding hands. Then y'all seen at the grocery store holding hands and then y'all was exchanging phone numbers. Then he walked you to your car. Then he got in your car, was sitting in the passenger seat, and then y'all was kissing and making out in the front seat, and y'all jumped to the back seat. And all you did was posted a live video of yourself on social media and said, I'm at Kroger's. And because of that, your relationship broke up. Because why? Because either your man or your woman is insecure. Your man or your woman is unsure of themselves. Your man or your woman does not have the faith in your relationship that you thought that they had and that they should have. And because of that little bit of chink in your steel, something was able to come in and disrupt all of that. And that what do they call it? God's shield of armor turned into a million pieces of dilapidated, rusty steel. Because nobody took the time to understand what goes into a relationship, what goes into a marriage that makes them last long. There is no perfect relationship. There is no perfect existence. There is no perfect man. There is no perfect woman. Everybody, and I'm probably going to get blasphemed for saying this. But as long as Jesus was on this earth as a man, Jesus had to make some mistakes too. Because if Jesus hadn't made any mistakes, they wouldn't have put him on the cross. So as a man, as a human man walking the earth, trying to spread his gospel, he made some mistakes. Now, y'all Christians can get mad when I say that. Your Catholics, your Protestants, your Lutherans, Muslims, y'all can all get mad at me when I say that. In somebody's eyes, whether it was Muhammad or whether it was Jesus or whether it was whatever savior that you want to claim, they weren't just killed out of hate. They weren't just killed because they were a threat. In the eyes of the people that persecuted them and the persons that killed them, they made a mistake. There is no perfection in this existence that we live in. But everybody is looking for the perfect man. They're looking for the perfect woman. They're looking for the white picket fence and the dogs and the 2.5 kids. Why? Because that's what America said that's the American dream. But when they came up with this American dream, they left out the fact of absentee mothers. They left out the fact of absentee fathers. They left out the fact of more than 2.5 kids. They left out the fact of welfare. They left the fact out of drug abuse, drug addiction, alcohol abuse, alcohol addiction. See, they didn't tell y'all none of that. When they were selling y'all the American dream, they forgot to tell you the other side about America's nightmare. They sold y'all a pipe dream. And a lot of y'all are still walking around with that pipe dream in your head. You're still looking for that perfect man. You're still looking for that perfect woman. You're still looking for the house, the pretty house with the white picket fence. And it may exist for some, but I promise you, it's not without drama and chaos. Because what looks beautiful and perfect on the outside, unless you walk within them four walls, you ain't gonna know what's going on the inside. There is no such thing as perfection. There's no such thing as the perfect couple. There's no such thing as the perfect relationship. There's no such thing as the perfect marriage. There is nothing perfect about any of that. Because anything that you get into is going to have an issue. Relationships are going to have issues. Marriage is going to have issues. The thing is, how do you handle it? How do you deal with it? Most of y'all niggas run. You duck and hide. Like it's going to make the problem go away. You get high. You get drunk. Like it's going to go away. Like when the high is gone and when you sobered up, that the problem is just going to disappear. It's not going to disappear. It's still going to be there. And you still going to have to face it. You still going to have to deal with it. You still going to have to answer to it. Either way it goes, no matter what way that you take to try to escape it, it is inevitable that you are not going to have to face it. How long you going to run? How long you going to duck? How long you going to hide? How long you going to keep making excuses? If you're not ready for a relationship, if you're not ready for marriage, then don't get in one. If you don't have the time to invest in it, if you don't have the energy to put forth to it, if you don't have the effort to put into that relationship or to that marriage, don't do it. Because it's a waste of everybody's time. It's a waste of everybody's effort. It's a waste of everybody's energy. If you are content with being in an I, me, mine mentality, that is where you need to stay. That is exactly where you need to be. But do not bring the I, me, mine mentality into an us, we, are situation, because it is determined and doomed and destined to fail. You're either ready for it or you're not. If you're living in fear of your last relationship, if you're living in fear of what happened in your past and you think it's going to happen today, don't bother. Because all you're doing is you dragging all of that BS baggage into the next frame. And it's not even worth the hassle or the aggravation or the frustration. Heal thyself. Socrates had a saying, know thyself. You have to know thyself before you can know anybody else. You have to respect yourself before you respect anybody else. You have to love yourself before you can love anybody else and before anybody can love you. What it is that you want in your life has to start first and foremost with you. There's nothing that anybody else can do about it until you start. And everybody is standing at the start line, and everybody has these ideas and ideals in their mind for what they want and how they want it and what they think it's going to be and how they think it's going to be. And the man is standing there holding the gun, and he's saying, on your mark, Get ready. What are you going to do when he pulls that trigger? Are you going to run forward? Are you going to freeze at the starting line? Or are you going to turn around and walk back the other way? The choice is yours. The move is yours. The mind state is yours. You have to figure out what it is that you want. For the rest of us can try to help you bring what you want into existence. But if you're not ready, don't expect the rest of us to be ready. Because it's not our life. It's not our breath. It's not our steps. It's not our future. It's not our destiny. We are co-stars, for lack of a better term. We are co-stars in the movie of your life. And you are writing the script. How the story ends is how you write it. That's what you have to understand. We're cast in your story. We are the characters in your life. And we follow the script that you have written. We can't change it. We can't rewrite it because it's not ours. But at the same time, we also have our own scripts that we have to write. We have our own stories that we have to tell. We have our own dramas that we have to go through. We have our own trials and tribulations that we have to face. We have our own issues that we got to push through. And you are a co-star in our story. There's a rock group called Rush. They have a song called Limelight. And one of the lines is, all the world is indeed a stage, and we are merely players, performers and betrayers, each another's audience inside of a gilded cage. What is your mind state for yourself? What is your mind state for your life? Take some time and think about that. And once you can figure that out about yourself, then you know what your next move is going to be. Anyway, that's my time. I got 13 minutes left. I'm out of here, y'all. Check me out next week. Hopefully it'll be on Monday, but I will let y'all know. Y'all have a great one. Peace.
These niggas wanna play with me, thinking they playing